Jesus. The blood of Jesus. Let's go to the book of 1 Peter, the first chapter. And I'm going to start in verse number 13. We'll start in verse number 13, and then I'll work my way down to verse number 19. I want to move very quickly because we have a lot to do today. But just different things that are written between verse 13 and 19 that I will talk about, and then we'll just go ahead and deal with the topic of the blood. Verse number 13. You may hear me reading back and forth from the King James and the Amplified. Verse number 13 says, "Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ." So we find Peter encouraging the Christians here, and he's telling them to gird up the loins of their mind. What that means is to be sober in your thinking. What it means is to not play games, not to mess around anymore, but to become serious about what he's talking to them about. He says to gird up the loins of your mind, become serious about what we're dealing with. There's no more time to play, there's no more time to mess around, there's no more time to waste time. He says we need to be serious about the return of Christ. In the latter part of verse number 13, he says, brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. The revelation or the revealing. To reveal means to remove the cover off of something. Amen. That's what it means to reveal. To reveal is to take the cover off of something that is already there. In other words, this table here, under this sheet, there is a gold container. You cannot see the container with your eyes, but it's there. Amen. So if I was to pull the sheet off of the container, I would reveal to you what's already there, but you cannot see it. So Paul is telling them, Peter is telling them, he says, listen, it's no more time to play games. We need to be sober, to be conscious about the fact that Jesus is going to return, that Christ is going to be revealed, that Christ, who the time and the date of his return is already set. You don't know it, I don't know it, but it's already set. And there's coming a time where God is going to reveal or pull the cover off of that date. And nobody will have any time to get ready then. You will have to already be ready. And so he says, because of this fact, because you won't have time to get ready, because you won't have time to clean up, because you won't have time to prepare, he says you need to go ahead now and be sober in your thinking.
Yes. Amen.
To be wise in your thinking, to be conscious in your thinking, to be considerate in what you are thinking and how you are living your life. Because when Christ is revealed, you ain't going to have no time to get it together. So he is encouraging them. At the same time, he's warning them that if you don't take the time that you have now and prepare for what's coming, when it gets here, you won't have any time to prepare. Amen. So he says here, let's be sober. One of the things that happens in life is that we get so busy living that we lose sight of the fact that Jesus is coming soon. We get busy working, we get busy raising our children, we get busy paying bills, we get busy doing all of the things that we have to do in this world to survive, that we lose sight of the fact that I need to live my life mindful of the fact that Jesus is going to return. Amen. I need to watch how I live. I need to watch how I talk, watch how I behave. Because at a moment So I gotta be sober. I gotta be sober. I gotta keep it in front of me. I can't allow it to escape my attention, because the moment I allow it to escape my attention, then I become lax in my living. I become lax in my discipline. I become lax in the things I do for God, because I'm no longer keeping it in the front of my mind that I have to live with an expectation that He's coming. See, when I live with an expectation that He's coming, then it causes me to live circumspectly. It causes me to watch what I say. It causes me to watch what I do. When I live, don't you know, let me say it like this. Don't you know that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost? For every Christian that is in this building right now, the Spirit of the living God lives and abides in you. When you live with that at the forefront of your mind, then you become mindful of what you say out of your mouth. You become mindful of the places that you go. You become mindful of the things that you do, because you are constantly bringing yourself into the remembrance that God lives inside of me, and that I need to live a life that is pleasing to Him. I need to live a life that's holy, that is reverent of Him living in me, that I need to not take it for granted that He abides in me. So when I keep this in the forefront of my mind, when I become sober in my thinking, when I don't allow this to escape my mind, then it causes me to live a certain way. So that's what Peter is saying in verse number 13. He says, Corey, you need to be sober. You need to be mindful of the fact that Jesus is going to be revealed to the earth one day, and so you need to live your life with that expectation.
Amen.
Verse number 14 says, as obedient children, not fashioning yourself according to the former lust in your ignorance. He says you need to live your life as an obedient son, as an obedient child, not fashioning yourself or living the life that you used to live when you was in your ignorance. In other words, before you came to Christ, there was a certain way you lived. There was a way, and he calls it an ignorant lifestyle. He says you live your life in the ignorance of this. He says, but now that you know that He's coming, now that you know He's going to return, now that you know that He's soon to return, he says you need to live your life, not fashioning your life according to the old lust of your flesh, but now live according to the fact that you are an obedient son. Amen. You're an obedient child now. I use myself as an example. You are an obedient son. Don't live like you used to live. Don't do the things that you used to do before you became my child. He says, but now fashion yourself or live yourself according to this new reality that you are my child. He says here in verse number 16, verse number 15, but as He which has called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation. Because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy. So he says, just like an obedient son, he says, just like an obedient child, obedient daughter, he says, you have to understand that the one who called you out of your sin is holy. I'm talking about God now. He says He is holy. God is holy. What does it mean that God is holy? It means that God is without reproach. God is without sin. God is separate from other things. He's not common. He's not like everybody else and everything else, but He's holy, meaning He is in a league all by Himself. He says, just like the one who called you out of darkness is holy, he says, Corey, then you also need to be holy.
Amen.
You need to be holy because the one who called you is holy. You need to do everything you can to live like Him. You need to do everything you can to fashion your life as He has lived. You need to do everything to mimic Him. You need to do everything you can to be just like Him. You need to do everything you can to walk like Him, talk like Him, think like Him, act like Him. The one who called you is holy, and so you need to do everything you can to mimic His behavior. You need to be mindful of this. Keep this in the forefront of your mind. Don't allow this to slip your mind, because when you allow it to slip your mind, it's going to cause you to begin to live your life in a way that you should not live. So he says, keep it in the forefront of your mind that the one who is holy and the one who has called me is on his way back, and I need to be mindful of that so that I can behave in an appropriate manner.
Amen.
He says, verse 17, and if ye call on the Father. Now listen to what he says here. And if you, Corey, call on the Father, who without respect of person judges according to every man's work. past the time of your sojourning here in fear. He says, Corey, I'm going to use myself. If you call me your father, if you say that I'm your father, if you say that I have redeemed you, if you say that you have given your life to me, if you say that you have accepted me at your love, he says, if you call him father. So he's not talking to everybody right now. He may not be talking to everybody who's in this building right now. But there are some people who's in this building right now that he's talking to. And he says that I'm only talking to the ones who call me father. I'm not talking to everybody. He says, I'm just talking to those who call me father. Now you got to search your own heart. You got to search your own mind. You got to search your own spirit and determine whether or not you call him father. But he says, if you call me father, if you call me your father, if you say that I am your redeemer, if you say that I am yours, then he said, for the rest of the time you're in the earth, he says, live your life wholly unto me.
Yes.
I'm not talking to everybody. I'm not talking to everybody right now. I'm only talking to those who call me father. Matter of fact, let's go somewhere. Let's go somewhere. Let's go to the book of Malachi. Let's go to the book of Malachi. Move real quick to Malachi. Son, look at my case and give me my cell phone out of there. Thank you. Go down to verse number 6. Chapter 1, verse number 6. Malachi. Chapter 1, verse number 6. Y'all have that? Yes. I want to show you something that just came to my heart as I was talking about this. In the book of Peter, what we just read, Peter says to the people, he says, listen, I'm not talking to everybody, and that's very important. He says, what I'm saying right now is not for everybody. Because see, some people are going to be offended. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those who call me their father. Those who have a relationship with me. Those who are called by my name. Those who have given their hearts and their minds to me. Those who have been washed by my blood. These are the ones that I'm talking to right now. These are the people that I'm dealing with right now. I'm not dealing with everybody. Because see, some people are going to be offended. Some people are going to get upset. Some people are going to be bitter. There's going to be a whole lot of emotions about what I'm about to say. So I'm not talking to everybody. So I'm just talking to a select people, a select few here. And he says, and those are the ones who call me their father. The ones who have taken my blood and applied my blood to their life. says, a son honoreth his father, and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where is my honor? And if I be a master, where is my fear? Saith the Lord of hosts unto you, O priests, that despise my name. And ye say, wherein have we despised thy name? You offer polluted bread upon my altar. And you say, wherein have we polluted thee? In that ye say the Lord's table is contemptible. He says, listen, I'm talking to only those who are my children, who have been washed in my blood, who are sitting around my table, the one that I take care of, the one that I provide for, the ones I feed, the one I clothe, the one I protect. He says, listen, even the natural father, he says, you know how to honor him because he's your father. Well, he says, well, if I'm your father, where is my honor?
Amen.
You know how to honor a natural mother. He says, well, if you know how to honor a natural mother and father, and you say that I am your father, he says, well, where is my honor? Why you don't honor me if you say I'm your father? If you say I have redeemed you, if I have forgiven you, if I washed you in my blood, if I am your father, he says, where is my honor? You don't treat me like I'm your father. You don't serve me like I'm your father. You don't respond to me like I'm your father. You don't obey me like I'm your father. Why you say I'm your father when you don't treat me, when you have no honor? To honor means to bestow. To bestow respect. To bestow, to place upon somebody. See, honor is not something that I can take from you. I can't make you honor me. I can't make you love me. That's something that you have to determine to give me. That's a decision that you have to make in your own heart to give towards me. Now, somebody can make you fear them. Somebody may even be able to make you bow down to them. If they put a gun to your head or do something like that. They may make you fear them, they may make you bow down to them, but they can never make you respect them. They can never make you love them. They can never make you honor them, because that's a condition of your heart. That's something that you have to give. You have to make a decision to say, I'm going to honor you. I'm going to bestow upon you a level of respect. I'm going to bestow upon you a level of commitment and devotion. I'm going to bestow upon you a level of servitude. When we get married, for an example, when we marry our spouse, regardless of whether you're the husband or the wife, when you get married, one of the issues and one of the things of a marriage, if it's going to be successful, is that you have to bestow upon that person a same or a level of honor. Okay. I'm right where I need to be. If we don't have a successful marriage, if we're going to have a successful relationship, then we're going to have to bestow upon each other a certain level of respect. If our relationship is based on external things, it's not going to be a good relationship. It has to be deeper than that if it's going to be real, if it's going to last. Because as time changes and time goes, we both going to change. Amen. And so the way you treat me, the way you feel about me is based on how I look, then that's not going to last. Amen. If the way you treat me is based on the amount of money I make, then that's not going to last. Because I may make a lot of money today, but next year I may get fired. I need somebody who will bestow upon me honor. Amen. And regardless of what I look like or how much money I make, I need you to love me yet the same.
Amen.
That's what honor is. That's what respect is. It goes deeper than what the physical looks like or what the physical can do for you. It's a matter of the heart. It's a conditioning of the heart. I bestow upon you value. I place value on you. There is nothing that will happen to you that will make you decrease in value. You're the same person in my eyes today that you were 20 years ago. You're the same person in my eyes today that you were 5 years ago. I bestow upon you honor. I bestow upon you reverence. I bestow upon you respect.